And there's 1 lap to go for Ayrton Senna. I think Philip Alio's run out of fuel, incidentally. Philip Alio, who was doing so well, who was up into 7th position as we look the final lap now of Ayrton Senna.
And across the start-finish area comes Alain Prost, who is now 13 seconds behind his teammate, this man, Brazilian Ayrton Senna, who looks like he will win his second Formula One race of the year, one in San Marino. That means McLaren will have dominated Formula One racing so far. They will continue their domination, winning all 5 races. This will be 2 victories for Senna. Prost already has 3.
Earlier this weekend, Ron Dennis, the man who runs this amazing operation, said his goal this year was to win every single Grand Prix. But to be first and second in every one, I think is going a little too far. So it's Senna, Prost, Button, Piquet at the present time. The race is not yet over because with only 2 laps to go, we lost 2 cars. Ginzani, he came out 2 laps before the end, and then also 2 laps to go. Also, Philip Alio went out. So we've had a few dropouts. Ayrton Senna, of course, this is his final lap, as it is for Alain Prost. Weaving a very easy way around now. When you know that you've only got 1 lap to go, you're looking into your rear view mirror. He's waving already. He's waving already.
Here he goes. Checker flag.
He's waving. He was waving right up past his pit. That's why he was waving. But he stopped there in case he runs out of fuel. And he's got to weigh the car. Alain Prost comes in as well.
Look at this. They're not even going to go around for a victory lap right now. It is McLaren finishing 1-2. And right below our broadcast area are the 2 McLarens of the winner, Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. There's Senna, your champion. Thierry Boutsen will be 3rd. Nelson Piquet, the defending world champion, will finish 4th, followed by Capelli, De Cesaris, and Alio. But the domination continues for McLaren here in 1988. There's Derek Warwick. Derek Warwick is running in 9th place. I'm not sure if he has run out of fuel. I don't think so.
And the Benetton takes 3rd position, and he's pulling off the racetrack as well. There's the man getting rid of all of the tight feeling, and there's the McLaren team. Crichton Brown there with the mechanics. Joe Ramirez, the fella in the hat there, was my mechanic in Tyrrell way back. As we go back to Alain Prost looking into his car, having a little look at something. What is he looking at, I wonder? He's taking out his earplugs. Little Frenchman. He's not drenched in perspiration, is he?
Well, he'll get 6 points for finishing 2nd here. That'll give him 39 for the season. Senna picks up 9. He'll have 24.
And there you see it. Ayrton Senna wins the race, congratulated by his own teammate, the mighty 2 with the 3rd man there. Terry Boutsen, a very happy 3rd in that position. Nelson Piquet was to finish 4th. Capelli in 5th position. Jonathan Palmer, the good doctor, in 6th position. That's good. 1 championship point for him. Derek Warwick, after such a bad accident that he had yesterday, survived to finish 7th. And we've got Tarquini in 8th position right now. Well, these are the 2 men walking back there with comfort, having a conversation. Very relaxed, aren't they?
The top 3 in the race on the left of your screen. Ayrton Senna, as they walk in front of our broadcast booth here at the west end of the island. In the middle, Alain Prost, who increases his lead in the driver's standings, and the man in the green outfit is Thierry Boutsen from Belgium, who drives for Benetton. The final results of Grand Prix Mulsanne, the 1988 Canadian Grand Prix. McLaren continues to own this 88 season. Stay with us. We'll hear from Senna and Prost as we return to Montreal.
It's a happy day for the Brazilians. You know, Canada is quite a mix of ethnic groups. There are many South Americans living here in Montreal as well as Toronto, and you find many more supporters of Latino drivers than you would find in practically any United States city except Los Angeles or New York. Oh, Derek Warwick limping by our announce booth here. How about this? DeMarge giving a rider
Capelli
a
bringing
home.
De Cesaris back.
Yes.
And De Cesaris, I think, must have...
And right in front of our announce booth, cars are being pushed back into the pit area here. So the finish was Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, Terry Boutsen was third, Nelson Piquet fourth, Ivan Capelli fifth, and Jonathan Palmer sixth. And let's get down to John Bizignano on pit road.
Thank you, Chris. We're with the man who has engineered the rebirth of the McLaren spirit and team into McLaren International, Ron Dennis. What does it feel like to totally dominate the F1 world, Ron Dennis?
Well, we won the first 5 races, but there's another 11 to go, so I think domination's a pretty big word.
It's the only word that can be described for your organization, Ron. I mean, the first 5 races, dominating last season also. How'd you put it together?
It's just a team, top to bottom. I mean, it'd be very wrong of me to take the credit from a good design group and a good team of guys, and we all come to every race and try and win it. And when we're successful, I think it's only fair that everybody gets the credit because it's very much a team.
Your team is some 160 people strong now in the factory. Ferrari was criticized for having too many people, not being able to react quick enough for decisions that needed to be made. Are you finding that a problem from your 90-day personnel group?
No, it's the main reason we're at such a high staff level at the moment is because we're heavily into 1989 and the normally aspirated program. We hope to announce that car in the next few weeks. And, it just takes a lot of people to run two intense programs.
RD, congratulations. Best of luck in Detroit.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Chris. A very happy Ron Dennis.
And Ayrton Senna bows his head as the Hino Nacional, the Brazilian national anthem, is played. On his left, in the dark blue coveralls, third place Terry Boutsen of Belgium. And on his right, the Professor Alain Prost of France, a 31-time winner, a 2-time world riding champion. And
high in the middle is Ayrton Senna. On the left of your screen is McLaren teammate, the Professor Alain Prost, who is second. And on the right of your screen, the tall Belgian driver in the green outfit is Thierry Boutsen for Benetton. Ayrton Senna waves to this appreciative large crowd here in Montreal. Jackie Stewart, the dominance of McLaren continues, which really is great for McLaren, but not good for Formula One racing.
No, I think we could have a little closer racing. There's no question about that at all. But I think Boutsen showed today that that Benetton team is going to be very competitive in the future. There's still a lot, of course, of racetrack between the winners and, of course, the second, third, or fourth people if they're not McLarens. Look at that champagne being spilled all over the place there. And look at Senna giving Prost a hard time. And I'll tell you something, that stuff nips in your eyes, and that's exactly what's happening to Alain Prost right now. His eyes are nipping from champagne. It's a terrible thing. Every time I do it, I think I'm never going to do it again.
Well, we talked about the friendly rivalry between Prost and Ayrton Senna. Tremendously windy day here in Montreal. They really do get along. You saw it there. Last year, Mansell and Piquet were feuding when they were both with Frank Williams, but here's a case of two top drivers that get along and get along well.
Oh, yes, they get on very well together, I think. Of course, it will become more strained if the racing is so close that Senna digs in like he did today and passes Alain a little unexpectedly, I think, for Alain. As the championship nears the end of this season and the pressure goes on even more, I don't know if the friendship will be quite as warm as it is at the present time. While one is well and comfortably in the lead, I think it's okay. But let's wait and see what the future holds.
You know what I need here? I think I need one of these hats.
Well, I'll bring you one from Scotland next time, because I thought when I came out from our commentary position, we needed a wee Scottish bonnet.
I tell you need a wee Scottish bonnet. I'm hanging on to the guard railing here. Your impressions before we throw it back to commercial of Formula One racing this event as it returns to Canada after the absence?
Well, I think the Canadians have done a wonderful job again. The organization has always been good here. The pit complex that's been erected has been a tremendous improvement. I think it's, for us, very nice to be back in Canada. We love Montreal, and I hope to be back again next year, particularly with you, Brian, and particularly with CBC. All
right, we'll be back for a final word in just a minute. Right now, we're going to take this break. Again, with Grand Prix Molson, the 1988 Canadian Grand Prix. It is Ayrton Senna winning, followed by Alain Prost and Thierry Boutsen. We'll be right back.
And here we see those two McLarens. This is the pass for the lead back on the 18th lap. And, of course, the question will be to Alain Prost, why did he play Alphonse and allow Gaston to go by? We'll know the answer, hopefully, before we get off the air. the winner again, Ayrton Senna of Brazil, Alain Prost of France second, 5.934 seconds behind. That's interesting. Okay, once again, it's John Bisognano on pit road.
I'm with Dr. Jonathan Palmer, who scored 1 point here this afternoon. You look a bit knackered. How hard was it out there, Jonathan?
Well, I think it was about the hardest race I've ever done. Not because of the car or the track or anything else, but because I had a problem in that my drink bottle came loose on the first lap, literally, and I was about to pit and get them to sort it out. It was underneath my feet. It was rattling around against my feet. And I spent the whole race trying to manipulate the bottle around with my left foot in between each corner and braking and everything.
So you have also not taken on any fluids, which
that's right.
You can lose 6 to 9 pounds a race this way. You know, it's not healthy for a doctor.
Probably lost about 5 pounds, I think. I better go and rehydrate now.
Well, you have time to get ready for Detroit. Dr. Jonathan Palmer scoring a single point here, a little bit better than not qualifying, I have to say, John.
Thanks very much.
Back to you, Chris.
It's called pedal dexterity that he practiced there on the closing laps of this competition. There's the bridge leading to Montreal, and the winners on the podium. We'll be back for more after these commercial messages. Okay, so Ayrton Senna of Brazil adds his name to victors of the Canadian Grand Prix. Nelson Piquet has won twice here in Brabham. René Arnoux won in 1983, Michele Alboreto in 85, and Nigel Mansell Williams in 86, the last race. But let's go down now to John Bisognano on pit road.
Derek, unofficially, we had you finished as 7th. It must have been the hardest 7th place finish you've ever had.
Yeah, I just hurt so badly out there in my chest and in my neck. But it's just nice to just finish, I suppose.
You're also limping a bit, Derek. What's the problem down there on the leg, the ankle?
Leg is okay. I mean, my leg just went dead during the race. But the worst thing is I couldn't breathe, and my neck was hurting quite badly. I just feel a bit sick, that's all.
Derek, let me ask you this. You decided to run in the same car that was crashed yesterday. Your regular race car, you weren't comfortable with that, and you decided to go out in a car that had a 160-mile-an-hour smash. Why did you make that decision?
Well, first of all, the USF&G Arrows is strong enough to withstand crashes like that, and there was no problem at all after the race. The monocoque was perfect. And I had a problem with my race car this morning with the engine. We never had time to change it, so we opted to run the spare car.
You saw the video of the accident in the ESPN truck yesterday. A new altitude record here for you in Montreal. Let me ask, when you went by that spot, what was going through your mind? Were you afraid?
Don't do the same again.
Don't do the same again.
It hurts.
Derek, we'll let you get out of here. I think you do need a little Perrier. Derek Warwick, in the same car that he crashed at 160 miles an hour, again, a great achievement for the team and for a very brave man to get back in and go battling with this crowd after such a huge shunt.
Okay, thank you very much, John. And the rush now for the fans is to the subway station to get a ride and get a seat on the subway back to downtown Montreal. About a 5-minute ride is all it takes to get into the center of town. You know, Ayrton Senna's performance is outstanding. His pole position for this race was his 5th of the year and his 21st of his 4 seasons in Formula One. And he's already high on the table of pole winners, which are headed by the late and great Jim Clark, who had 33 pole positions in 8 seasons of racing. Juan Manuel Fangio had 28 in 8 seasons. Niki Lauda won 24 in 13 seasons, and Nelson Piquet 24 in 11 seasons, with Senna next on the line. Okie doke, and there's a beautiful look at the Circuit Villeneuve. We'll be back for more in a minute.
Welcome back to Wheel Notre Dame in Montreal. The final results, official results of the drivers and the points in this Grand Prix Molson, the 1988 Canadian Grand Prix. McLaren continues its domination. And the driver standings after 5 races. Now Alain Prost, however, Senna has moved into second ahead of Gerhard Berger. He is followed by Piquet, Alboreto, and Warwick. And the constructor standings is a blow-up. Constructor standings a runaway. McLaren well up in front of Ferrari, Lotus, Arrows, Benetton, and Tyrrell. All right.